Hi, my name is Jewel, and thanks for sharing this yoga experience with me today. We'll be practicing 75 minutes of yoga. We'll start with a breathing practice, a pranayama technique. We'll do a little bit of movement, a little bit of asana, and then we'll drop down to the mat for some Yoga Nidra for constructive rest, some visualization practice, and to let the body settle and to find a little bit of healing on a very cellular level. So we'll get started in an easy seat, whether that means virasana for you. You can sit on a block in between the legs or two. Or if this doesn't feel good, we can start in sukhasana, an easy seated position with the legs crossed, perhaps on top of a block as well. We'll start to get settled in our first pose in this easy seat, just to prepare the body for breath and to tune inward and notice what's going on in your body or your mind or your breath today. Invitation to close the eyes, maybe just look down at the ground, let the eyelids get heavy, and we'll roll the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times, just to start opening the chest, opening the shoulders. Maybe 25% slower than you're already going. Then we'll reverse the circles. When you're ready, bringing the shoulders back up to the front, just juicing up the joint a little bit. If this feels good, keep going. Otherwise, we'll rock our weight side to side and forward and back a couple of times to see where our balance is today. Maybe you find yourself leaning to one side automatically, or maybe hunching forward. So can we find this place of middle ground where the spine is acting like the axis of your universe? Because it is. So let's let the spine find its straightened position all along the low back, the mid back, the upper back, and then even the neck and the head. Shoulders will relax away from the ears. And I'll offer Anjali Mudra, prayer mudra, to get started in our grounding breath. If you're taking prayer mudra, spread the fingers out wide, pressing just a little bit on the pads of your fingers against one another. Thumbs gently compress against the sternum towards the heart, and elbows reach out while shoulders drop down. And close those eyes for a moment here. We'll take a couple of deep breaths together. Inhaling through the nostrils, exhale through the mouth. Continue these deep breaths by yourself, and maybe you start to drop in to your physical body and just notice if any parts of your body are talking to you. Notice if maybe your toes or your hips, your shoulders, any part of your body might be holding on to some tension. And can you send a little message to those parts? For me, it's always my hips, to let go. Just take the shape of your block or your mat and just settle. Find a little peacefulness and stillness so we can drop a little further into our consciousness. Once you've figured out what your body's saying to you, I ask that you do yourself the favor for the next 75 minutes to respond to your body. If I suggest a pose or I cue a pose that doesn't feel right in this moment, even if it was fine yesterday, don't take it. Let your spirit flow through your body. I heard a quote saying, yoga is the art of the soul, and I love that. So let your soul and let your spirit move you, instead of simply just doing my suggestions. Let's tune into the breath now, just the quality of the breath, coming back to our normal breathing patterns. And just notice if maybe you're feeling your breath coming from your belly, maybe your rib cage, or maybe it's coming up through your chest. Can we invite that breath all the way from the bottom of the abdomen and let it rise slowly, lifting the belly, rib cage, and the chest, and slowly release the air. Beautiful. We'll take a moment of silence here, just closing the eyes, checking in with yourself, and finding a sense of gratitude for making time to practice yoga. We'll go ahead and move a little bit before we take our pranayama technique, just to open the chest, open the places that we'll be breathing. We'll let the arms spread wide like you're holding two trays. Lift the arms up overhead, gaze up. Bring the palms to a prayer at the top and let them descend slowly like you're moving through honey back to the heart. We'll do that twice more, releasing the arms to hold those platters. Let the knees and the hips relax. Big inhale to shoot the energy like you're resisting the air, gazing up. Maybe you invite a little back bend this time. And then descend the prayer back to the heart. Last time. And if you want to get creative with these movements, please do. Maybe being a little asymmetrical, shifting side to side, or grounding one hip and grounding the opposite hip. And slowly we'll meet with the palms at the chest, but please take any movements that might be extra for you. We'll start to grow just an inch taller. Relax the knees, and we'll bring our hands to our legs. Sense your spine just growing, sense your vertebrae spreading out just a little bit more with every inhale. And feel your hips and your sit bones and your shoulders relax on your exhale. We'll take alternate nostril breath, Nadi Shuddhi or Nadi Shodhana, using our right hand thumb on the right nostril and the pinky and the ring finger on the left nostril. These two extra fingers can lay on third eye center between the eyebrows, or you can tuck it in to your fist, whatever is more comfortable. Alternate nostril breath encourages balance in the body through breathing in through one nostril and out separately at different times. We aim to cleanse our energy channels and to manipulate the air and the prana, the life force that comes through us in a way that benefits us to slow down and prepare for movement. So we'll start with one solid inhale through both nostrils. Close the left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Inhale right. Close, exhale left. Continue on your own for 3 more breaths, 3 more rounds, trying to use the whole inhale and the whole exhale. Maybe you notice one nostril is easier or more difficult, but just notice, try not to ponder, just come back to the breath. If you get dizzy, please stop, but just take 1 more round. And when you're finished, place both hands on the legs, palms can face up or down, and come back to your normal breath, in through the nostrils, out through the mouth. We'll start moving a little more fully now, inhaling both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, we'll drop the left hand towards the hip on the ground, using it as a kickstand. We'll reach the right fingers over towards the left as we curve the spine. Maybe the neck looks up or gazes down, noticing if that changes the stretch for you. 1 more breath, we'll open the heart to the sky, reach the right fingers. Use the abdomen, exhale, both arms to the sky. We'll pause for a moment, interlacing the fingers, flipping the palms to face the sky for a nice big good morning stretch. Maybe you look up. We'll take one inhale, separate the hands, reach the fingers high. Now right arm will drop, kickstand to the earth. Left arm reaches towards the opposite side. We'll be here for 2 breaths. Maybe you ground the left hip a little extra. Maybe you gaze up or down or open the heart, but let this movement be yours. One more inhale to open the chest and reach the left fingers. Use the exhale in the abdomen to bring the arms upright. Interlace the fingers, flip the palms, and gaze up. Maybe a little back bend to open the heart, lift the chest. One more inhale, separate the hands, reach up. We'll exhale, twist to the left, reaching right arm forward, left arm back. Maybe you'd like to stay here, reaching the fingers in opposite directions, twisting from the mid-back, or option to drop the left hand, reach the right arm towards the sky. So we're in a twist and a back bend at the same time. Take one more inhale, maybe right arm flushes back. Exhale, come back to center. Torso is just floating away from the floor. We'll take an inhale to reach the fingers up, creating length. Then use that length on your exhale to twist to the right. Reaching all the way first from the collarbones through the fingers. Stay here, continuing to twist, or drop the right hand, lift the left. In this twisted back bend, can you find a length in the spine to twist and bend maybe 1 inch deeper? And we'll take one more inhale. Exhale, use the strength of the abdomen and torso to reach the arms up, gaze at the ceiling. We'll take an inhale to reach the fingers 1 more inch, lengthening the body. Exhale, palms come back to heart center. Shut the eyes for a moment, place the thumbs on the sternum, and just notice if your back feels any different, any sensations that might feel more open, or maybe a little bit of fear for that vulnerability we expressed. But I ask you to find your intention. Let something flood your mind that you'd like to dedicate this practice to. Let it be heartfelt and let it be a deep desire. Your sankalpa is your intention stated in a short, positive statement as if it's already happening. So for example, I am patient with my healing, or my body is learning to adapt, or I find joy in every situation. State this positive, intentional sankalpa to yourself 2 times, and we'll come back to this during our Yoga Nidra practice. We'll plant the hands onto the ground, roll over the legs, or meet me in tabletop any way that you'd like to. And we'll bring our blocks to the top of our mat in case we want them for later use. Planting the hands somewhere underneath the shoulders and planting the knees somewhere underneath the hips. We'll find some spine movements in cat-cow. As you inhale, let the belly drop, stick the tailbone up, gaze up, chin lift. Exhale, press through all 10 fingers, let the mid-back arch to the sky, gaze at the navel. Inhale, belly drops for cow, chest lifts, gaze lifts. Spread the fingers, exhale, let the exhale move the spine to face the sky. Gaze at the navel, press down through the toes and knees. So continue this cat-cow on your own breath. Instead of following my cues or following your muscles, can you challenge yourself to follow your breath and to follow that spirit that's moving your body? We aim for a mind-body connection in yoga or general mindfulness practice. And the thing that connects the body and the mind is the breath. So can you use the inhales to create the shape with your body, to let your mind free itself, and use the exhales to transition into a different pose? You'll meet me in a neutral spine whenever you're ready, as if someone's pulling your head forward and pulling your hips back. We'll create length in the arms, spreading the fingers wide so you can see the color of the mat between every finger. And we'll wag the tail to the right, gazing back at the right heel. You don't need to see it, just look towards it. And wag the tail to the opposite side, gazing towards the left. Maybe this feels good and you'd like to continue. But any other movement in your tabletop that you like, invite into your practice. Maybe it's shifting forward and shifting back. Maybe it's a thread the needle to open the arm and thread. But I want you to take 5 breaths here, finding any organic movement of the spine, of the elbows, of the neck that you would like. To learn to follow that teacher, to learn to follow the breath, and not to think too hard about it. After your 5th breath, we'll find a tabletop position, and we'll bring the left knee to midline in the middle of the mat. Step the right foot on the outside of the right hand, and I'll take my blocks to my highest setting. You don't need blocks here, but they're a help if you have them. I'll bring them to either side to create a low lunge with the left knee on the ground. Fingertips can come to blocks to help you stand proud, or arms reach to the ceiling, or maybe find heart center in Anjali Mudra once again. We'll take 2 inhales here. Inhale, the heart floats away from the sky. Exhale, hips sink towards the earth. One more here. Inhale, maybe a tiny back bend. Exhale, sink the hips. We'll shift our weight back, bring our hands to the blocks and straighten the front leg. We'll come to the heel of that front leg and then scoot it 1 inch back so the right hip finds itself square with the left. We'll inhale to straighten the torso. Let the side bodies grow. As you exhale, fold as if there's a little laser in your forehead trying to shoot forward. We'll take 3 breaths here, knowing you can move that right foot further out to the side, maybe point and flex, or fan the foot. Any variations in this half split Ardha Hanumanasana. One more inhale, maybe you find that lift again. Exhale, fold. We'll plant the right foot on the earth, walk our blocks forward as we bend the right knee, tuck the left toe and lift the knee off the ground. Inhale to find your half lift. Exhale to step the left foot forward to meet the right, Uttanasana forward fold. Bend the knees, plant the feet, inhale, reach all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms at heart center. Maybe close the eyes for a moment, renew your intention. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Exhale to fold over yourself, Uttanasana forward fold. Inhale, find a half lift, letting the chest rise. Exhale to fold forward, planting the hands on the ground, and we'll step back to our downward facing dog. Hips are rising, heels are getting heavy, arms are straight, and fingers are planting equally into the ground. As we inhale, we'll shift forward into a plank position, always being able to come to our knees if we need to. For a challenge, we'll hold this plank for 1 breath and slowly bring the knees back underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders for our tabletop. This time, right knee will come to midline in the middle of the mat. Left foot will find itself on the outside of the left hand. We'll start to walk our torso up, bringing our blocks to either side once again to find this low lunge on the left side. Sinking into the hips, bending into that front knee. And if your knee is way over your toes, maybe you try to heel toe forward a little bit, but find your place of comfort where you can stay in 2 breaths. Find your arm position that makes you comfortable, blocks, sky, or somewhere in the middle at the heart. Inhale, letting the chest lift, neck is growing. Exhale, sink the hips. Relax the left toes if they're holding on to tension. One more big inhale, maybe a baby back bend. Exhale to sink the hips. We'll start to bring the hands to the block, shift back as you straighten front leg, maybe toes pop up off the ground. We'll scoot the heel back just an inch to pull the left hip in line with right. Adjust however is needed. I like to have my feet a little wider for this pose. Inhale, we'll find that lift, letting the torso just float. As you exhale, folding forward instead of folding downward, reaching the chest forward towards the front of the mat. Maybe you play with waving the foot, pointing the toes, or any other variations that are calling you. One more inhale to lift. Exhale to fold over the left leg. We'll plant the left toes, bend into the knee, walk our blocks forward for later use, tuck the right toes, and lift the knee. Take an inhale, trusting the legs, gathering strength in that left foot. Exhale to step forward, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Fingertips can come to blocks to let the chest rise. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward. Bend the knees, plant the feet into the ground, reach in one swooping motion, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, palms at heart center, connect the thumbs with the heart. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side, up and over the head. Exhale, fold over yourself, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, find that halfway lift, let the spine grow. Exhale, fold it down, bend the knees, plant the hands. We'll step back to downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift the heels high. As you exhale, keep the hips high, just lower the heels. We'll inhale, shifting forward to plank position, finding strength in this Dandasana, this staff pose. One more inhale, maybe you gaze up, lift the chin. Exhale to lower the knees to the ground, and we'll find child's pose, letting the chest settle onto the mat. I like to put a block underneath my chest and one underneath my head to keep me risen. You can also put a block underneath the hips, right on top of the heels to rise the hips a little bit. Maybe you make a little pillow for your forehead with your hands, and we'll be in child's pose for 5 breaths. Preparing for our Yoga Nidra. Tune in to the heartbeat, tune in to the sound of your breath, and we'll find a connection either to yourself, your mat, or your block to that third eye center, the space between the eyebrows that they say is our seat of intuition, our seat of wisdom. This is also known as the third eye chakra, the third eye energetic center. And it's known to watch and manage and understand all of the other chakras, all of the other energy centers. So bring your intention to that third eye center and just notice any colors, any symbols that pop up in your mind's eye, or maybe a feeling. We'll reach the arms out long if they're not already for an active child's pose, reaching the fingers so far forward that maybe even the elbows pop up. We'll take one more inhale to lengthen the body from the hips to the fingers. Exhale, sigh out the mouth. We'll press into our hands, bring ourselves to a tabletop, and however you like to get there, we'll find ourselves lying on the back. Taking your time to get here, we'll set up for our Yoga Nidra practice. I like to bring some props into my practice here, but you can choose any supine position that makes sense for you. One example is Shavasana, lying completely flat on the ground in corpse pose. You can take a pillow or a blanket underneath your head, maybe a bolster underneath your knees. You can plant the feet on the ground, walk them out to opposite sides of the mat, and release the knees together. But please take as much time as you need to find a place of comfort that you will be able to be in for the next 45 minutes or so. So I'll give you a minute to get situated before we start our Yoga Nidra. And we'll let our body just start to settle into the ground, into any props that you might be using, letting the body find itself comfortable instead of your mind telling your body where to go. Can you follow the little fidgets, follow the little movements your body might be cueing you to take so we can find stillness? Yoga Nidra translates to yogic sleep. This is an opportunity to find constructive rest through a scripted, guided meditation. We'll be focusing on bringing awareness through the various parts of our consciousness. We'll bring attention to the body. We'll bring attention to the breath. We'll bring attention to the emotions and the thoughts. And we'll try to reach a state of consciousness right between waking and dreaming. So essentially, it's an opportunity to watch our thoughts, watch our patterns that our brain has connected for us, but not get interfering with them, not judging them, not following them. Ultimately, don't worry if you miss something I say, because the deepest part of you is always listening. There's no way to practice Yoga Nidra incorrectly. It will always work. So take a few moments and fidget and get 10% more comfortable so you can find a place that you feel good, that you feel held. Softly close the eyes and take a deep breath through the nose. Let it out slowly with control. Maybe you start to visualize your inhales as your favorite color, something happy, filling you up, maybe flowers, your favorite shape. On the exhale, you're letting yourself release the air that your body doesn't need, the emotions that you don't need. If you feel that you're prone to falling asleep while laying down in a meditative state, I offer you this tool of squeezing your hands into a fist every couple of minutes, just to have a little bit of activity. If you think you're prone to your brain creating a lot of noise and talking to you, finding it hard to relax, I invite you to take the mantra, so hum. So hum meaning I am. So when that mind starts chattering, that monkey brain turns on, try to drown it out with the mantra, so hum. We'll take another deep breath, pausing at the top, enjoying the sweetness of that breath. And as you exhale, let it just roll off your tongue. Let that warmth roll over your chest. Every breath bringing a sense of peacefulness. There's nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. This is exactly where you're supposed to be. So let yourself be comfortable. Let yourself appreciate and allow yourself this constructive rest. Don't become agitated or worry if you don't hear everything I say. It's natural to go in and out of consciousness, hearing things in your body, hearing your internal voice, and hearing my voice. You're in a safe environment, a protected and held space. We'll come into stillness now and remain still for deep rest, deep nourishment, letting your body and your bones get heavy, feeling them like they're sinking. And then releasing that heaviness and feeling radiant, your body lying on the ground. Please use and absorb what you need in the moment and just leave your worries behind. If your mind becomes overactive, just come back to the sound of my voice. When you catch yourself in an overactive state of mind, repeat to yourself, so hum, or your favorite mantra. Become aware of any sounds you hear outside, in the room that you're in, maybe inside your own body. Bring your intention to the closest sounds towards you. And without opening your eyes, start to visualize the four walls of the room that you're in, the ceiling, the floor, your yoga mat, your body laying in complete stillness, your body being present. Become aware of your existence in the place that you're in. The practice of Yoga Nidra will start now as we find our sankalpa, our intention. We'll go deep inside to notice our heart's desire. You can use the sankalpa that we created in the beginning of class, and you can always change it now if you'd like. The sankalpa is a seed to plant into the mind to bring about transformation and healing. Repeat your sankalpa, your positive statement, your heart's desire to yourself 3 times. Now say to yourself, I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am awake and relaxed. I am practicing Yoga Nidra. I am awake and relaxed. We'll start to observe the body through the lens of the observer, noticing the spacious awareness and where sensations might be coming up. Just like you listened for sounds, we're watching for sensations coming in and going out. Maybe you sense your props underneath you, your clothes on your body, maybe a joint of your body giving you some feedback, maybe the beating of the heart. Observe sensations of presence, of peace, of contentment, and relaxation spreading throughout the body. Observe the entire body. Each inhale brings expansiveness, brings openness, and each exhale brings relaxation, brings calmness to the joints. You can wiggle the fingers or wiggle the toes if you'd like to get out any last minute fidget. Before we allow our awareness to travel through the body on a little journey of awareness and consciousness, I will mention various parts of the body and just bring intention to it as I say it, just as it is. We'll start with the toes, bringing intention to all 10 toes, the big toes, second toe, the third, the fourth, and the baby toe. We'll bring intention to the bottoms of the feet. Maybe they're planted, or maybe you can feel a slight bit of air or wind on the bottom of your feet. Bring intention to the heels, lying on the ground, that contact that they're making with the floor or prop. Bring intention to the calves. Bring intention to the backs of the knees. Bring intention to the backs of the thighs, to the hamstrings. And intention to the glutes. Bring intention to the back of the hips and the sacrum. And let your awareness start to rise up your spine, starting with the low back, slowly rising up the spine as you feel the spine connected to the earth. And let that awareness run to the sides of your body, to your obliques. Bring your awareness to the armpits, the space between the torso and the arms, perhaps. Bring awareness to the backs of the arms. Bring awareness to the backs of the hands. And bring awareness to the thumb knuckles, the index finger knuckles, the ring fingers, the middle fingers, and the pinkies. We'll bring awareness to the back of the neck, maybe touching the mat, maybe not. Maybe the space between the neck and the mat. And we'll just relax the shoulders, relax the neck. Bring intention to the back of the head, your head just heavy, laying on the ground. We'll bring intention to the ears. We'll bring intention to the whole back of the body, noticing the back of the body connected to the earth, any points of tension. And just imagine your body getting a little bit lighter. We'll come back to the toes, bringing intention to the fronts of our bodies, maybe giving the toes a little wiggle to release any stress. And now we'll bring our intention to the tops of the feet. We'll bring intention to the tops of the ankles. Let it rise to the shins. Bring awareness to the kneecaps. Bring awareness to the quads, the fronts of the thighs. Bring awareness to the whole pelvis, the fronts of the hips. Bring awareness to the low belly, the navel, rising and sinking ever so subtly with your breath. Let that intention rise towards the belly, up towards the chest. And let that intention rest for a moment inside your heart. Feel that energy start to collect, start to grow, just as your heart sends blood and circulation and energy. We can harness that. Let that energy, let that awareness rise into the chest, towards the collarbones. Let it find its way towards the front of the shoulders. Bring intention to the front of the arms, the palms of the hands. Bring intention to the thumbs, to the index fingers, to the middle fingers, to the ring fingers, and to the pinkies. Maybe you make a fist with both hands and then spread the fingers wide. And then let the fingers find their natural curl, just simply existing. Bring intention to the front of the neck, intention into the jaw, maybe opening the mouth to release the jaw, any tension you might be holding on to. Then let the lips either softly touch or maybe find a little space between them. Noticing the tongue. pressing it against the top of your mouth and then letting it release, letting it just settle somewhere between the teeth. Bring intention to the cheeks. Bring intention to the nose, maybe give it a wiggle. Now we'll bring intention to the eyes, beneath the eyes, the eyelashes, the eyelids. Maybe you blink your eyes open and close a couple of times and let the eyelids truly just relax, just be. And bring intention to the eyebrows and that space between the eyebrows, that third eye center. Keep your intention on this third eye center for a moment as you take a full breath and a full exhale. Let the intention rise all the way to the crown of your head, as if you had light just shooting out of the crown of your head. We'll bring intention to the whole body, the whole relaxed, radiant body, lying on the floor, finding constructive and peaceful rest. We'll begin to notice the breath. Your natural breath flows in and out. Your breath flows through you. Rather than noticing the breath only come in through the nostrils and only leaving out the mouth or the nose, can you imagine your body absorbing the breath, absorbing prana, our life force, through every cell? Let the prana flood through your whole body. And then let yourself release from every single cell. The air might be physically coming out of the nose or the mouth, but visualize that air filling you from every direction. And as you release, letting go of what you no longer need. Notice the way the breath has softened and relaxed the whole body. And notice the softness of the breath. Send the gentle breath to parts of the body that might need it most. We'll start to slow our inhales and exhales, filling up through the nostrils entirely. Maybe you hold at the top and even slower, releasing out the mouth. Finding that retention, that place of pause after the exhale, before that urge to bubble up lets you inhale through the nostrils, bringing serenity and peace. And exhaling, finding relaxation. We'll start to count from 11. 11, inhale. 10, exhale. Continuing on your own. If you get to 0, just start over. And if you forget what number you're on, just start over. Allow yourself to stop counting wherever you are and just come back to your easy, natural breath, releasing any control over the inhales or exhales. We'll bring our practice to sensation of opposites. First, imagining the whole body becoming very, very light. The bones are light. So light that you could just float up off of the earth, off of your mat. And the only thing that's grounding you is your clothing. Your torso is light, your limbs are light, your head is weightless. Imagining yourself very light. We'll invite the sensation of heaviness now, letting the body become heavier and heavier. Your bones feeling like they could just crush the floor, like gravity has a bigger effect on you, a bigger toll. Find this sensation of heaviness, of being pressed down by the air underneath you, of the atmosphere. And we'll release that feeling of heaviness, coming back to your own weight, your own pressure, feeling neutral, neither heavy or light. We'll awaken the experience of cold in the body. Cold like a chilly winter day, and you're not wearing a jacket, no hat. The wind is biting and freezing. The toes are so cold, they might be getting numb. You're cold to the bone. Awaken the sensation of coldness. Letting the chill permeate your body. And now we'll allow the sensation of warmth to spread through every single body part, every single cell, like a summer's day at the beach in the sunshine. Let the sun warm your skin. Maybe you gaze up and let the rays pour over your body. Invite the sensation of warmth, of comforted, heat all over the body. And we'll let go of that feeling of warmth, coming back to your normal temperature, that place between coldness and heat. We'll stay in the sensation of being, of present, of balance. And just visualize once again your body on the floor in complete relaxation, in complete stillness. We'll start to concentrate on the space in front of your closed eyelids. Imagine before you a transparent screen, as though you're at a movie theater. The screen is as high as you can see and as wide as you can see. Let the screen be black, empty for a moment. And then imagine yourself turning this screen on. Become aware of anything that manifests within that space, as this is the manifestation of your consciousness. This is your manifesting state of mind. Instead of getting involved with whatever comes up, just notice. Maybe there are colors, maybe patterns. Maybe you see something that brings you joy, that makes you feel afraid, and just let it go. Not holding on to how it makes us feel, just observing it, noticing it, without directing any images or sensations. Continue your awareness of this space as I mention a number of different items or symbols. Maybe an emotion or a memory or your imagination starts to play during this visualization, and that's okay. Let yourself be flooded with whatever comes up, but challenge yourself to leave your awareness once the new image or item is mentioned. not holding on to the meaning or your interpretation, but just jumping from image to image as soon as you hear it. Red desert, peacock feather, Buddha meditating, doctor's office, a good night's sleep, the full moon, your reflection in a mirror, a foggy morning, waiting for results, the sun shining overhead, a bouquet of flowers, a tall tree, receiving help from a loved one, cool, clear water, making an appointment, laughing with friends, a warm embrace or hug, a burning candle, a path in the woods, a vibrant sunset, taking a deep breath, a cat stretching, a beautiful garden path, your favorite song, the sound of my voice, your body laying on the floor. Continue visualizing your relaxed, radiant body on the floor as you bring intention deep into the heart space, where your inner guru lives inside of the heart chakra of the energetic center. Now imagine you see a light, a mysterious but intriguing golden light floating above you. The light feels warm, the light feels nourishing, and you invite the light to become a part of you. Let it enter through your feet, and it begins to rise up through the legs, around the hips and the pelvis, filters through the torso, and spreads throughout the arms. That light swirls into your neck, up your throat, and fills your head, fills your face, landing in the third eye center. Let this light fill you with the qualities of presence, awareness, alertness, dedication, intelligence, creativity. And please rest as this radiant, beautiful being for a couple of moments. If you sense the mind becoming overactive, invite the mantra, so hum. I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Enjoy the peace you've created. It is time to repeat your sankalpa, your heart's desire, your intention 3 more times to yourself. Let it be powerful and more confident than last time. Relax all of your efforts. Draw your mind outside of yourself. And once again, visualize the room that you're in, the four walls, the ceiling, the floor, and your body laying on the floor. Become aware from the point of an observer of your relaxed body. Now come into your body. Bring intention to the points of your body in contact with the ground, prop, your clothes, and experience the qualities of being awake. We'll begin to awaken our senses, starting with the ears, searching for maybe the furthest sound that you can hear, following it for a moment, and then bringing your awareness to closer and closer sounds, eventually concentrating on the sound of your breath, your heart, or any sounds you can hear from inside your body. We'll invite the sense of touch as we rub the thumb pads and the index finger pads together, very gently, just noticing the subtleties of your fingerprint. Now run the thumb and the middle finger together a couple of times, and so on with the ring finger and the pinky, bringing an awareness and sensation to each finger. Let that awareness rise to the whole body and bring awareness to your whole entire body, limbs, torso, face, extremities, as one whole being. Bring intention to your sense of smell. Noticing any subtleties of the air moving in and out of your nostrils. Noticing if there's any smells that you can observe. We'll bring intention to taste, maybe swallowing for the first time in a while, noticing the taste inside your own mouth. Slowly start to blink the eyes open, bringing awareness to our sense of sight. Maybe keeping the eyes lifted towards the ceiling wherever you are. Just noticing the colors you see, the patterns you see, what your depth perception might be telling you. We'll take our awareness to the breath, inviting a nice, nourishing inhale to fill the body, letting the belly, rib cage, and chest rise. And then a super slow exhale, releasing out the mouth, letting the body settle. The process of Yoga Nidra is now complete. So we'll slowly invite the knees into the chest, letting your body take any other positions it's wanting before you get there, and give yourself a little hug. We'll roll on to either side, whichever is more comfortable for you, and pause for a moment in fetal position. This position represents rebirth and new beginning, maybe even new intention. Just remind yourself of your sankalpa, your intention one last time. We'll slowly press ourselves up to an easy seat. And we'll sit in a meditation for a few moments before we end. Perhaps sitting on a block or a blanket to lift the hips, letting the knees and the feet simply relax. Option to bring the hands to the body, palms facing up or down, or maybe your favorite mudra. I will offer you Kali Mudra, interlacing all of your fingers except for the index and thumb. Letting the index fingers point up to the ceiling, maybe letting the elbows find themselves in opposite directions. Roll the shoulders back and down. Kali Mudra lets us offer Goddess Kali of destruction, our flaws, our worries, our anxieties that we no longer need. Kali's food, her fuel, is our impurities. She wants to take them from you. So let yourself offer Goddess Kali your worries, your stresses, your judgments of yourself, and release them to her. We'll sit in meditation for a few moments, letting the body relax, reflecting on your experience. We'll release that mudra whenever you're ready. And we'll find our alternate nostril breath to end our practice once more, just as we started. Taking right thumb to right nostril and the pinky and ring finger to the left nostril. We'll sit up straight to create length in the spine and space in the diaphragm. Take a deep inhale through the nose. Close the left, exhale through the right. Inhale right. Close left, or close right, exhale left. Inhale left. Close left, exhale right. Continue on your own breath, your pattern, for 4 more rounds. When you're finished with your 5th round, let the hands find somewhere on the body, whether it's the legs, chest, belly, heart. We'll find a space of gratitude for ourselves for carving out the time to practice yoga in various ways, breathing, moving, and just shifting our attention and consciousness to various places. I encourage you to sit in a meditation if you have time for reflection. Thank you for joining me and for trusting me to guide you through yoga.